Well, good morning and welcome to London. Good morning and thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here to tackle one of course, our city's focuses, but also our country's focus. It's a most pressing issue. It's homelessness. Thank you all for attending such an important conference where many important conversations, many crucial conversations will take place. Ideas will form and action plans will be mapped out. It's my pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of the City of London. I'm joined by many colleagues, many of my council colleagues, including Deputy Mayor Paul Hubert, Councillor Usher, Councillor Squire, Councillor Cassidy, and Councillor Helmer. I can't tell you how hard city councillors work. They work crushing hours each and every day. Often they attend events throughout the day. They're in meetings until midnight. The next day, they do it all over again. But this many councillors chose to attend this conference because it's so important to them. It's so important to our community. Let's give them a round of applause. Conferences like these are where we together can lay the groundwork for the big picture. We want to support, we want to accelerate the end of homelessness in Canada by giving communities the tools to do so. And it's so crucial for all levels of government to work together on a national housing strategy that works for each individual community's immediate and critical needs. Municipalities, in collaboration with the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness, are committed to helping 20,000 individuals and families experiencing homelessness find their way to a home by July 1st, 2018. And I am so pleased that London is hosting this year's conference. London has been working tirelessly at ending poverty within a generation. 17%, that's higher than the provincial average, 17% of Londoners are experiencing poverty today. A quarter, 1 in 4 of all children are living in poverty. They're going to school hungry. And just over 40% of our First Nation peoples are also living in poverty. That's not okay. This year, London held its first Registry Week, and we're committed to holding an enumeration event each and every spring. We had just under 100 volunteers who spoke with over 260 individuals at 14 different locations across the city. It was an initial step. It was, from a starting point, a great success. And we're looking forward to continuing our efforts to ensure that those experiencing homelessness are being heard. Now, like many other communities, we know all too well the challenges and the stigmas of poverty, of addiction, of mental illness, and of homelessness. We know that homelessness begins at home, in a neighborhood, and in our communities. We've been working hard as a city to combat homelessness. We're implementing our homelessness prevention plan, which is aimed at supporting individuals and families by securing permanent housing in a neighborhood of their choosing with flexible and ongoing support for lasting housing stability. This year, we put together a poverty panel that produced a report called London for All. It outlines 112 recommendations focusing on ending poverty here in London within a generation. What that means is that children who are growing up experiencing poverty today won't have to see their own children experiencing that same kind of struggle. And one of the keys to eliminating poverty here in London, of course, is homelessness prevention. Some of the London for All recommendations include investing in housing allowances to support flexible, permanent housing stability for individuals and for families. The report also recommends assisting in housing women and youth at risk of experiencing homelessness. We know that women are more likely to be single parents. We know that they're more likely to be at risk of partner abuse. And we know that they have more limited employment opportunities. Meanwhile, we should also be supporting our at-risk youth for early intervention. Right now in London, there are 2,550 households on a wait list for social housing. The average wait time is 1.4 years. That's to get into a safe, secure home. And that's why we're working closely with our federal partners to develop a national housing strategy that works for everyone. It's also essential that we continue to use the Homeless Prevention and Housing Plan and the Homeless Prevention System Implementation Plan to make tangible changes in our city. We are grateful of our provincial and our federal partners. We're grateful that they've come together for this conference, and I'm very much looking forward to the next 3 days of productive discussions and the important ideas that will come from those discussions. We need to continue our work in London, and we need to reach out to communities across the country to help support each other for the good of all Canadians, because together we can and we will solve homelessness. Now, we've been getting ready for you for many months. We've been looking forward to hosting all of you here in London, and part of our efforts, it's been focused on creating a video showcasing London to tell you our story of homelessness right here. Holly Painter has written an original poem, and through some exceptional videography, we showcase the release for this for you this morning. Holly is a spoken word artist, she's a public speaker, and she's also a teacher. Holly is passionate about sharing her stories, inspiring audiences, and advocating for important causes through poetry. Holly will be performing this poem at our opening reception that starts at 5:30. I'd encourage all of you to attend. She is absolutely incredible, one of London's talents that we're so proud of. To close, please view the video, enjoy the conference, and if there's anything we can do to make your stay here in the 11th largest city in Canada, just let us know. Thank you so much.
If our streets could speak, they'd ask us, what do we see in their concrete crowds?
Between the bustle and buildings stretching towards the sky,
amidst the traffic and noise and passers-by, what do we view when we roam our city's roads? Or perhaps a better question, what do we choose not to?
If our streets could speak, they'd wonder, what do we see in the eyes of the unseen? Those sitting between cracks in our sidewalks, left falling through cracks in our system, do we even bother to make contact?
They say ignorance is bliss, but our ignorance can be the kiss of death for some. Tell me, why do our streets have names, but the people left on them do not? If our streets could speak, they'd question, do we notice the intersections? The crossing of a lack of place to sleep with so many other marginalizing identities, Aboriginal, queer, transgender, youth. Mental health struggles, addictions, disability, drug use. There is much more at stake that needs changing than just providing people a bed. We can't just present a blanket and a pillow and forget about the rest. Patching potholes won't fix an issue that needs to be dug up and repaved completely.
If our streets could speak, they'd say thank you. To those working the front lines, bringing dignity to the lives of those who are so often forgotten. Those who have a struggle and story most don't care to listen to. Do we recognize the work that is being done by the ones who see people as people far beyond the statistics? But is eradicating the desperate need for all their tireless work something we can envision?
If our streets could speak, they'd have tales to tell we could never dream of. But why ask our roads when we can ask those right in front of us what for them needs to be done? How we can bring the number of those without homes from any to none. If our streets could speak, they'd ask us to open our eyes to our community and those who need help, and to see in the solution every bit of ourselves.